We're heading to the powder bars. After years of entertaining audiences on the History Channel, Shelby Stonga can no longer continue because of this tragic situation. He tried hard to keep it hidden, but now the truth is out in the open. What exactly was Shelby Stonga hiding? How will this revelation impact the other cast members tied to Shelby's controversy? Stay with us as we dig deep into this story. Background: like the rest of the colorful cast on X-Men, Shelby has a backstory full of passion for the wild outdoors. He was born on January 17, 1960, in New Orleans, Louisiana. The city isn't just where he was born. Shelby has a lifelong connection to Louisiana, having spent his childhood in the beautiful region that he grew up without a father and was raised by his mother. How he began: Shelby started working at just 16 years old. He was thrilled about his first job because he loved exploring nature. He didn't mind taking on logging work as a teenager. He was genuinely excited about it. The swamp and forest felt like home to Shelby. You could see how deeply he loved adventure. He also enjoyed earning money, so people often reached out to him for jobs. They asked him to haul wood and logs out of the swamps for cash. Shelby was always ready to jump in and work, but if the pay wasn't good enough, things could quickly turn sour. In 2000 he made his first television appearance on Man vs. Wild. Shelby's magnetic personality immediately stood out. He caught the eye of other producers and soon landed a contract to showcase his skills and experiences. That's how Shelby began his journey on the History Channel. In 2008 he joined the cast of the famous series X-Men as a tree logger. From that point forward, he became one of the most watched and memorable crew members on the show. Shelby's success on X-Men led to 3 spin-offs, including The Legend of Shelby the Swamp Man. He loved jungle life and spent his free time deep in the wilderness. He learned survival skills and drew constant inspiration from nature. He always knew he would one day appear on television, but the opportunity came much sooner than he expected. When the offer arrived, Shelby didn't hesitate. He jumped at it. After 10 seasons and 163 episodes, Shelby announced he was leaving the show. This news shocked fans and left them disappointed. Many assumed it was due to health problems, but Shelby later explained the real reason: the producers weren't honoring the pay they had originally agreed on. He took a long step back from the spotlight and quietly returned to logging work behind the scenes. The show felt noticeably different without Shelby, and the producers soon realized it. When ratings began to suffer, they decided to bring him back in a spin-off series. The Return of Shelby the Swamp Man premiered in 2018. Shelby's comeback was a huge surprise to fans. They were thrilled to see him back, navigating wild wilderness challenges once again. Viewers loved watching him use his sharp wits and unique problem-solving style. He never stopped surprising and entertaining his audience. People simply couldn't get enough of him. After his return, rumors began circulating that he had passed away. Many fans refused to believe Shelby could have been taken down by a snapping turtle or a venomous snake. Others claimed he died from an injury during filming. The speculation spread quickly and became major headlines on blogs and forums. Genuine fans were deeply worried. They had already seen several X-Men cast members pass away. They had also heard wild rumors about other stars on the show. Shelby, who watched the whole situation unfold online, finally had enough. He decided to set the record straight and reassure everyone. He explained that he had been involved in an accident, but he was alive and doing well. Fans were furious at the production team for allowing the rumors to spread and for constantly pulling dramatic stunts, but they were incredibly relieved to hear Shelby was safe and healthy. Shelby wasn't the only memorable personality on the show. Several other logging companies from around the country were also featured, giving the series variety and competition. Every day the show highlighted different cast members and their stories, but Shelby always stood out. One of the most heartwarming moments came when Shelby searched for his lost log. The log never made it to the mill, and he spent a long time looking for it. One day he finally found a massive log underwater. When he pulled it out, he realized it was the very one he had lost. His charisma and never-give-up attitude made him a fan favorite. His television journey began with his appearance on the History Channel's X-Men. But for Shelby, nothing changed on or off camera. His job as a logger remained exactly the same. He never minded the stench of ancient logs buried deep in the Betico swamp in Tangipahoa Parish. He was always ready to do whatever it took to get them out. The Tangipahoa River has a rich history of resources, including the sunken logs Shelby searches for. The Tangipahoa creeks were heavily milled between the 1880s and 1990s, and many valuable logs were lost in the process. Old trees fell and floated down the creek toward the famous Lake Pontchartrain. The number of trees used to build homes in New Orleans couldn't compare to the countless logs that sank and remained abandoned in the swamp for hundreds of years. Some of those trees date back 3,000 years. Many logs absorbed minerals from the mud, changing their color dramatically. Some turned red, blue, purple, green, yellow, or brown. Their radiant colors immediately caught Shelby's eye. The logger quickly saw their potential as beautiful material for furniture. He made it his mission to find and sell them to furniture makers. Special type of log I'm looking for. In addition to that, we got a buyer who's looking for anything that's been in the water for over 50 years. How much do you think that'd be? Have you ever wondered how he can dive so easily to locate these logs? He wears 108 pounds of lead diving weights. He puts on steel-toed shoes and a hard hat, then walks along the river bottom. He feels for logs with his feet because 99% of them are buried under mud. This is only preparation. The real work begins once he finds one. When Shelby locates a log, he digs into the soft mud, usually 6 to 8 feet down. While underwater, poor visibility can cause him to accidentally run into logs. He also risks having his respirator torn out of his mouth by branches. After digging, he hooks the log to a crane on a barge and drags it to shore. Victory at last. This was Shelby Stonga's daily routine long before reality television came along. Fans love the storyteller. Whenever they see him in his camouflage hunting boots and hear his signature shout, "Here we go!" they know it's showtime. The audience adores his tales of underwater adventures. They're fascinated by how he discovered sunken ships and treasure. They love Shelby's stories about gunfights, living in the tops of giant cypress trees, and hunting snapping turtles for famous clients. While some critics say Shelby's stories sound unrealistic, photos of him perched high in trees or holding snapping turtles usually quiet the doubters. He also has an impressive collection of artifacts, including a Civil War-era coin, as proof of his underwater experiences and long career as a logger. Teeth, man. Boy, that is a hope I don't catch nothing on my Bionas from getting by the water by this son of a __. I like pulling these teeth out, man. I might become a dentist one day. X-Men series. In 2008, several logging crews began appearing on a reality television show that showcased the dangers and stories of their daily work. They traveled to remote areas, camped in forests, whatever it took to get the job done. Although the work was challenging, it was also full of adventure, and it became their livelihood. Over time, that rugged lifestyle became the show's trademark. Many people wondered why it was called X-Men. The title perfectly captured the dangerous, high-stakes encounters loggers face every day. The series is considered part of the popular Real Men in Real Danger trend on television. It first aired on the History Channel in the United Kingdom. Later, something strange happened. Producers changed the title on terrestrial Channel 5 to X-Men. This confused longtime fans who were already familiar with the show. The series was eventually moved back to History to satisfy curious viewers. Each season delivered fresh, gripping stories. Multiple logging companies were featured, making the show feel organized and highly competitive. fans could choose their favorite crews and root for them season after season. They loved watching the logging companies battle to keep their businesses alive. The show also exposed the real challenges loggers face, and showed the unfiltered daily realities. It wasn't all glamour. Some days they fought bad weather, difficult terrain, and mechanical breakdowns while racing against tight deadlines and trying to earn a living. The series focused on the daily activities of the logging companies, showcasing their equipment, techniques, teamwork, and the hard work of felling trees. It also covered log transportation and timber processing. Among the crews featured on Axe Men were Shelby's Company, Swamp Man Logging, and Rigard Logging. Some specialized in recovering abandoned logs from waterways, while others focused on heli logging, using helicopters to airlift fallen trees to access roads. That heli logging footage became one of the most exciting parts of the show. Although it was incredibly dangerous, the loggers proved how dedicated they were. Their expertise reminded viewers just how impressive the series really was. The crew members followed strict rules. They were not allowed to fell trees themselves. They protected natural resources and worked to minimize environmental damage. They also made sure they followed all local laws in the areas where they operated. Jimmy Smith was one of the strongest voices for conservation. In an interview, he said it was essential to preserve yesterday's forests in order to save tomorrow's forests. He refused to let his job as a logger stop him from caring deeply about protecting trees. Shelby and Jimmy entertained fans. They brought drama, healthy competition, and unforgettable personalities to the series. Although there was rivalry between other logging crews, fans didn't mind. It added a unique edge to the show. Everyone knew a series featuring top companies would naturally include tension and competition. The show also highlighted the daily struggles loggers face with market fluctuations. Rumors began circulating that the reality series might be cancelled after multiple scandals, arrests, and allegations of illegal activity by some loggers. Many critics and fans expressed serious concerns about the logging practices shown on air. Although the crew insisted they followed the rules, experts in the logging industry were unhappy. They felt the show misrepresented the profession. They said real loggers understand the dangers and work hard to stay safe. But the show portrayed the opposite, reckless behavior that gave the entire industry a bad name. They pushed for the series to be cancelled, arguing it showed people too many ways to lose their lives on the job. Environmentalists also opposed the show. They accused the cast of celebrating and documenting the destruction of natural habitats. Critics called the series scripted, saying viewers could easily predict what would happen next. These controversies eventually brought the show to a quiet end. Critics also questioned the tragic deaths of several cast members. It wasn't just one logger. Multiple people passed away while involved with the show. Many blamed the reckless activities shown, and allegedly happening, behind the scenes. Were these all just rumors? Were there fatal accidents and dangerous behavior on set? Keep watching to learn about some of the Axe Men cast members who tragically lost their lives during the show. Tragic losses. Accidents on the show claimed the lives of several loggers and crew members. While the series received plenty of criticism, the deaths of these cast members left deep pain for fans, colleagues, and families. William Bart Canto's death was especially tragic and sparked rumors of foul play. He was born in 1959 and passed away on September 7, 2013, at age 54. He brought a fresh energy to the cast of Axe Men. He was one of the main reasons viewers never wanted the show to end. Records show his death was caused by a helicopter crash in Lewis County while transporting logs. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The news shocked fans who knew him as an experienced Navy pilot who always delivered exceptional work. Before his passing, he had received many recommendations and earned praise for his outstanding heli-logging skills shown throughout multiple seasons of Axe Men. Williams' competitive nature never went unnoticed. He took risks in tough situations and consistently proved his survival skills. He was a true problem solver, witnesses to the crash said he dropped the log before the helicopter struck the forest, and detached from the aircraft just before impact. This led many to believe he knew something was wrong before the crash occurred. Fans urged authorities to investigate his death as a possible murder. In the end, officials ruled there was nothing suspicious and closed the case. William worked with R&R Logging and appeared in several episodes of AXMEN. An episode titled Axes and Allies was dedicated to his memory. Jimmy Frank Smith was the first cast member to pass away. He was born on May 3, 1956, and died on November 1, 2012, at age 56. He battled cancer for a long time and ultimately passed from the disease. He owned SNS Aqua Logging Company. His death left many fans in tears. He had been one of the true highlights of the series. People couldn't believe he was gone so suddenly. The History Channel posted a heartfelt condolence message to Jimmy's family and friends before his burial and memorial service in Leavenworth, Washington, on November 7, 2012. He appeared in Season 5 of Axemen in Wenatchee, Washington, USA. The Season 6 premiere was dedicated to him and his impact on the show. It was no surprise that his son James Smith also appeared on Axemen. Viewers watched several episodes where father and son worked side by side and shared a strong bond. They had a deep father-son relationship and made an excellent team. James helped with underwater logging before his father's passing. While fans expected him to take over the family business, his role remained uncertain after the show ended. Jimmy was known as a man who lived life on his own terms, rarely caring what others thought. This earned him more enemies than friends. Many felt he was too proud. Although James wasn't one of them, he often clashed with his father. Jimmy had constant throat pain, and the two were frequently at odds. Toward the end of the show's run, Jimmy and James were seen visiting an anger management counselor to work through their issues. Shelby wasn't the only one surrounded by controversy. While rumors circulated about Jimmy having a romantic scandal with his new assistant, nothing was ever proven. Many believed it was just a stunt to boost ratings. It was also well known that Jimmy was in direct competition with Rigard Logging for top contracts and bragging rights, but every company had rivals, smaller outfits constantly challenging the bigger players. Papak Alaska and Shelby were frequent competitors for Jimmy before his passing. He was always determined to prove his logging company was the most efficient. Still, every crew had something to prove. That's what made the show so addictive. The next tragic loss was Gabe Rigard. He died in a motor vehicle accident just outside his hometown. Gabe crashed his white Ford Bronco into another vehicle that pulled out from a side road. The passengers in the other car were treated at the scene and released, but Gabe was pronounced dead on impact while wearing his seatbelt. The crash happened on the US 101 near Port Angeles on September 16, 2016. Images of the scene remain engraved in the minds of many, a tragedy no one will forget. Gabe Rigard's memory lives on strongly with his family and fans. He was only 45 years old. His death hit everyone hard. He was a major part of Axemen and of Rigard Logging Company. He served as operations manager and handled office duties alongside his brother after they took over the business from their father, Craig Rigard. Although he appeared in only one season, he quickly became part of the Axemen family. Every crew member loved him. He was easygoing, professional, and great at the job. The show documented his journey in Season 2 as the new owner of Rigard Logging. It showed his struggles and successes. He was a quick thinker who always found solutions to the toughest problems. When the market turned bad, Gabe always found ways to keep the business going. He hated laying off workers, so he pushed everyone to perform at their best. Craig Rigard was interviewed after Gabe's passing and shared how devastated he felt hearing the news and seeing his son's condition. It was an enormous loss for the family. Gabe handled every aspect of the business and kept it running smoothly. His brother shared similar feelings. He was deeply shaken by the loss. The family continued operating Rigard Logging Company, with his brother now leading operations, all in honor of Gabe. While his good deeds were widely remembered, controversy still surrounded Gabe and the Rigard family. Media crew who worked closely with them questioned the behind-the-scenes conflicts. Was it all part of the logging business, or just for the cameras? This was a common question among fans who found the constant drama strange. While some saw Craig and Gabe Rigard as extraordinary, hard-working individuals, others couldn't ignore the ongoing tension shown during filming. The brothers frequently disagreed on company matters, so Gabe's death raised eyebrows and fueled speculation. The rumors didn't stop with the family. Crew members were also often in conflict and engaged in intense competition that it left fans asking, do reality shows always come with this much drama? Plans Gabe had left unfinished weighed heavily on both his father and brother as they struggled to keep the company running. No one could quite fill his shoes. Gabe had been the heart of the operation, keeping everyone and everything in order. James knew less about the business side, so every mistake risked pulling the company backward. However, the loyal, committed team members who had worked with Gabe stayed dedicated. They kept his vision alive and helped his brother with daily operations that he worked around the clock to bring in new deals and jobs, determined to keep everyone employed. Van Huffman's death was another loss connected to the show. The Papak, Alaska crew desperately searched for his body after he disappeared during a logging task in the wilderness. He was later found deceased. Van also appeared on Axemen as a logger and was a well-known figure on the History Channel. His disappearance, and the discovery of his body on Sway Island, sent fear through the entire logging community. The incident was aired on the show. His death brought more criticism from environmentalists who already viewed the series as glorifying the destruction of natural habitats. The tragedy seemed to confirm their worst accusations. Sadly, the show not only ended, it ended with the tragic loss of several cast members who died under terrible circumstances. Questions and speculation about whether the show will ever return continue to linger, leaving the logging community in a strange, uneasy silence due to mixed feelings about the series. Job hazard. Shelby Stonga is very aware of the dangers that come with logging. He often said, "Every load I drown 3 times." He usually dives in 18 to 20 feet of water, nowhere near as deep as some of the logs buried far below. He sometimes encounters wild swamp creatures, leaving him with numerous scars from snake bites and snapping turtle attacks, but Shelby has always proven himself an equal match for the wildlife. He fights back against anything that attacks him. He has teeth marks on his tongue from multiple encounters where he had to bite the heads of aggressive snakes. That he made the show genuinely enjoyable. He's a fantastic character to watch even if you're just discovering the series now. Fans who have seen every episode still can't get enough of Shelby, even after multiple spin-offs and reruns. They admit they laugh out loud at the way he acts. The moments when he fires the big gun or drives the massive water bug are unforgettable. They can tell he isn't faking anything for ratings or attention. Shelby Stonga entertains viewers with educational stories about trees, animals, and life in the swamp. Many fans call him a true survivalist. That they're amazed by how fearlessly he enters dangerous areas to recover logs. How much money you think I'd be? Probably about, 10,000. I'm going to. Do you do that? In 2014 he was arrested for trespassing. He cut down a cypress tree that belonged to his neighbors, and they were far from happy about it. The tree had been state property since 1963, which prompted the neighbors to call authorities. That he spent a day in jail and was released, but faced a felony theft charge. Shelby never spoke publicly about the incident, so fans believe all charges were eventually dropped. Family. Have you ever wondered about Shelby's wife and family? The television personality found someone who matched his energy and love for wild living. He married Donna Stonga in the early 2000s, and they've been inseparable ever since. Many fans also adore Donna. They admire her patience with Shelby's sometimes wild personality. They live a happy, peaceful life together in a comfortable home in Louisiana near Lake Pontchartrain. The couple has 2 children, but they prefer to keep them out of the public eye. Although Donna appears softer, She joins in on many of the tough tasks and adventures most people would find intimidating. She never hesitates to jump in boats or go camping with Shelby. Oh, tastes nasty, man. You got to brush your teeth when you get sucking on. They made fans fall in love with the show. Some say they could watch Shelby forever. There must be something magnetic about him that keeps people glued to their screens whenever X-Men is on. For many, it's his authentic lifestyle. Other loggers who watch the show say Shelby always keeps it honest. He never allows scripts for his parts. That's why the show feels so natural, and why it always makes fans laugh. Fans say he deserves his own reality show, because he's pure joy to watch. Life after the show. Even though he became a famous television personality, Shelby never got used to luxury or fame. Instead of a city mansion and fancy cars, he prefers sleeping in a sleeping bag or hammock next to a boat launch on the Tangipahoa River. Despite his net worth, his most expensive possession might be his iPhone. He's simply not interested in an extravagant lifestyle. All Shelby knows is traditional living. He loves fishing, hunting, and logging. Some people assume Shelby has it hard, but that's not true. He's comfortable and lives well with his family. I'm happy as long as I have bullets and chew my lip. Many fans who missed the show are curious for updates on Shelby and X-Men. They wonder if there will ever be new collaborations. While some think Shelby is strange for choosing such a risky, difficult job, others absolutely love him. They admire his lifestyle and wish they could live like him. Some even call him the most down-to-earth and funniest man on television. Don't you need more people like him in the world? Is it possible to meet Shelby Stonga? That's the question on many fans' minds. People aren't just rewatching classic episodes of X-Men, they're especially excited at any chance to see Shelby, Swamp Man, Stonga in real life. With his wild energy, unforgettable quotes, and deep connection to the Louisiana Bayou, Shelby became one of the most beloved stars on the show. Over the years he built a net worth of around $2 million thanks to his television appearances. But money was never what drove him. Even now, long after the cameras stopped rolling, Shelby still ventures deep into the swamp, pulling out sunken logs just like he always did. Not for fame. Not for money. But because he genuinely loves the work. Logging isn't a job to him, it's a way of life. When he's not dragging logs from murky waters, Shelby can often be found chatting with locals or helping out in his community. He never chased the spotlight, but he stays active on social media, sharing raw, unfiltered moments with fans who still follow his journey, whether he's knee-deep in mud, fixing his boat, or cracking jokes with a neighbor. Shelby's updates remind everyone he's still the same down-to-earth swamp man they fell in love with. Since stepping away from the television world, Shelby has chosen a quieter, more meaningful life. There's no news of a new series or major comeback, and that's okay with him. He's spending time where it matters most, on the water, in the woods, and with the people he loves. And for those who truly know Shelby, that story is more than worth watching. What do you think about Shelby Stonga? What surprised you most about his struggles on the show? Do you think he'll ever return for another reality series? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Before you go, check out the other videos playing on your screen. You'll love them.